Good morning, everyone. So, actually, I've been thinking about this. I wanted to do a research paper in the beginning, but then I said, let's do a teaching module because there were supposed to be like 20 teaching modules and 20 research papers and only a few teaching modules. So I decided to do a teaching module. And this is designed actually for grades 11 to 12 or the undergraduate learners. So I will be presenting a 45-minute literature-based environmental education lesson using a short story by Eugenio Viacrucis, Sagib, and where the river is not just a setting but a force that teaches, humility, respect, and memory. However, this might deviate from your usual because you have the rationale, you have the learning outcomes and such, but I will just dive and treat this as my classroom today. Okay? So, next slide. We have this problem. How do we teach environmental respect beyond slogans? Because we hear this time and time again, but it seems like we have become immune to it. There's a part that just resists because, not listening to all this careful and mindfulness is easier than being mindful because every time you have to be aware of what you're doing. Now, let's go to the lesson flow. This is going to be the lesson flow, and I made it deliberately short, sensory, and reflective, and it focuses on a very powerful moment in the short story that will decide the fate of the characters. Okay, so this is supposed to be that. And then here. I will now demonstrate only the opening 2 minutes of the student activity. So, okay. So, class, you are my class, huh? Class, please participate, okay? Close your eyes and imagine you are on a raft made of logs. The river is rising, the sky is dark, the current is stronger than your body. I want you to make a soundscape. Tap your fingers lightly for rain. Tap it for rain. Rub your palms for wind. Knock once for logs hitting each other. Stop. So, that silence is the moment before danger. Okay? So, you can open your eyes. This is the hook for the class. No? And for me, this hook works because it activates affect before interpretation. You have to move the students before interpreting it. You don't begin by asking, what does the river symbolize? Or say that, instead you say, what does the river make me feel? Okay, because in the classroom, I ask the students to read in advance. But here, we do the exercise to put them in the seat, the hot seat right away. So important because educators will see the method and not just hear about it. So that's why I want to digress from that. Then, how did you feel? How did you feel while doing your exercise? You thought that you were there. So, and then, so that feeling matters because it situates us there, and environmental education does not only begin with information, but with fear and respect. So you're right there. Okay. Now, as I said, the main text is Sagib, and this is by Eugenio Viacrucis. He's already more than 60 years dead. He has a book, and he is well known for mga mata sa dagat. which is another environmental, and he's an environmental writer. I forgot to put also the undergrad, so these are the subject areas. And that's the only picture I could find. Now, Sagib is Cebuano Visayan narrative because he is really from Leyte. And it's about this, hello, I don't know if you're familiar with that. It's a log rafting. You have a more efficient way of bringing them downriver, okay? Now, is the river only water or is it also presence? So this Cebuano narrative is about Uncle Omang and Islaw. They are rafting the timber down the dangerous Agbanga River. So, but the story is not just using the river as background. It behaves as a force. It remembers and it warns. So, we have this, you have that, no? So, they're there in the river. That's only an example I found on the internet, okay? So, that's the question that we want to answer today. Is it only water or is it also presence? So as it is moving down there, okay, at a most dangerous point in the story, the raft is moving towards, there's a whirlpool, okay? And you have these two characters. Islaw is young and strong, but strength is no longer enough. But you have the other character, Uncle Omang, who, you know, part of the story, he was mocking the old man. Kay, syempre, murag, unsa man ka ng, you don't react the way I'm thinking you should. So it seems like the old man is just so calm, okay? Then, the line is here. The water is low. The water will decide for us now. Because they're going right there to the whirlpool. So this line becomes the interpretive center for our lesson. It allows, you know, the students to see that the river is not just passive scenery. It's actually a force that, you know, reverses the human confidence because you don't have a hand in it. Nature is deciding for you. So, Islaw may be physically strong, but in the face of the river, and just like in mga mata sa dagat, in the face of the sea, it is, you know, strength is not enough. And Uncle Omang, who appears weaker, carries a deeper knowledge. You know, he has that humility and memory and caution. Okay. So, we have this table. We look at the characters, and then at first Islaw seems stronger, but when the river becomes dangerous, the story changes the meaning of strength. So strength no longer is muscle. It becomes like the memory, presence, and ecological wisdom. So we ask the students, who understands the river better? Uncle Omang. Okay, why? Okay, because he has experience. So this, you know, like it teaches literary analysis through character contrast. And you have symbolism and environmental ethics there. Okay, so then the second major part of the lesson will go into a connection to local knowledge. So many communities have beliefs about rivers, about old trees, about caves and mountains. So the teaching point is not to laugh at these beliefs as superstition, but to ask, what ecological rule is hidden inside them? So you have this, diba, mga beliefs. But we can also ask the students, cover this, the belief, no? You can have that blank and have them fill it up. So we should not dismiss the ethical beliefs as superstition. And then This activity will help students see that local belief can encode ecological caution. So a taboo may be a form of environmental education. We've heard about the taboo, ayaw og pamutol, ayaw og kuan. And then we have discussed by John earlier, the mariit. And this is something beautiful in Cebuano. We have the Inkantohanon, but it's not as used, or the diwatahan. Okay, so we ask the students to think of one place in the community that people treat with caution. It can be a river, it can be that. So do not disturb. And we have here. Then, what rule is hidden in the belief? And after they have discussed the hidden rules, then we can affirm that local belief can become an environmental memory. We can have that exactly. And also, I just put a slide here. This is, asa naman eh? Wait. Okay. Because I have the slide here, but we already discussed, and I'm pressed for time, so the mariit and the Inkantohanon. And we go straight to the student output, which is a river respect protocol. So it's very short, and the students can do a 3-line answer. Sige, write your answer there. Before entering nature, wherever the nature is, you will listen to. Can I have a volunteer, please? Sige, ikaw na lang, Ark, kay naaka sa atubangan. Not volunteer, call the student. Before entering nature, I will?
Listen to birds.
To?
Birds.
Birds, okay. I will not take or destroy?
Weeds. Weeds or grass.
Weeds or grass. I will protect?
Trees.
Because?
Of birds.
Okay. So, that's just a quick, I'm sorry, this is an ambush, but we have a sample, no? For example, we have that. Thank you, Ark, for your participation. So, I'm sorry, I know. So, the output will also assess the comprehension, the cultural connection, and the environmental responsibility without requiring a long essay. That's just, sometimes we want to make it fun, di ba? We don't want boring lectures or what. So, why this works? You have students analyze character, symbol, setting, and conflict. Actually, this is just condensed for presentation purposes. And they will name fear, awe, humility, and respect. And then students can connect local beliefs and to ecological wisdom. So, actually, this lesson avoids preaching, and instead of simply, telling the students to respect nature, it lets them experience, so that the experience make them part, so that they know that nature demands respect. So, I think, wait, asan na ni? The river is not only a setting, it is a teacher. So, in the 45-minute lesson in the classroom, it becomes more than a story about danger, but a way, it becomes a way to teach students that nature is not weak just because humans are strong. And the river may decide, but education can help the students to decide to meet the river with humility, memory, and care. So, the river decides, but how we listen may decide whether we survive. So, daghan pa ni siya, like you pay attention to the clouds and all of that. But thank you very much for your time.